Will Noah's return make Schick official on Young and the Restless? Nick and Sharon are in Los Angeles after learning about Noah's crash on the Young and the Restless. The two seem to have gotten back together, but they could make it official once their son comes home. Key takeaways. Sharon and Nick went to LA to visit Noah. They found out that he got into a car crash. Noah left the hospital and has now been kidnapped with Sienna. Nick and Sharon will fight to bring their son home safely. Not giving up. Sharon Case, and Nick, Joshua Morrow, ran into Matt Clark, Roger Howarth. This surprise meeting left them with more questions than answers. First, how did Matt Clark cheat death? And second, why does he want to cause pain to their son? That's when they found out that Noah, Lucas Adams, was having an affair with his wife, Sienna, Tamara Braun. Noah unknowingly caused his parents more trouble. But Sharon and Nick aren't taking this fight sitting down. They're ready to fight back and get their son home. Once Noah was discharged from the hospital, he was kidnapped along with Sienna. We hope this storyline will come to a close soon. It'd be nice for Sharon and Nick to have a quiet Christmas with their son. Maybe their son will encourage them to get back together and make it official. What's going on with Schick? Earlier this year, Sharon and Nick traveled to Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, estate in Nice. They seem to have gotten back together. However, not everybody knows what happened. While in Nice, Schick shared a kiss. Sharon said it felt nice, and Nick felt the same way. He admitted that he didn't want to talk about his feelings. Rather, he wanted to show her. So, he leaned in for another kiss. So, where does that leave the exes? Unfortunately, they're dealing with the return of Matt Clark. However, once they receive justice, they will eventually reunite. They will either make their relationship official or have grief sex over what happened. This is the perfect time for a reunion. Phyllis, Michelle Stafford, is enjoying her fling with Kane while she moves on from her ex, Danny, Michael Damian. This allows Schick to re-examine their relationship, especially when the holiday season has a way of bringing people together. Has Phyllis finally redeemed herself on the Young and the Restless? For as long as Genoa City has been spinning secrets, betrayals, miracles, and memories into its daily tapestry, the name Schick has carried a unique weight. Sharon Collins and Nick Newman have one of those soap opera romances that won't stay buried, even when both characters swear they've closed the chapter for good. Their relationship is like the Wisconsin winter, frosted over, harsh at times, but always carrying the possibility of thaw. So what happens when Noah Newman, heartbroken artist, devoted son, and lifelong witness to his parents' cosmic pull, steps back into town? In a place like Genoa City, a returning Newman rarely arrives quietly. And in the case of Noah, his return could do more than shake up the art scene or complicate Summer and Kyle's tenuous calm. It might just push Sharon and Nick back into each other's orbit in a way that feels not only inevitable, but official. Below is a creative imagining of how Noah's return could reshape the emotional geography of Genoa City and shift the future of Schick forever. 1. The spark before the flame. Sharon had long learned to measure human emotion the way another person might assess the weather. A change in tone, a flicker across a person's eyes, the quiver of an exhale, she noticed everything. That's why, when she stepped into Crimson Lights one Tuesday afternoon and found Nick waiting for her with 2 coffees and a frown that looked more thoughtful than troubled, she didn't need him to speak. "You heard from Noah," she said, though it came out more like a certainty than a question. Nick passed her one of the cups, her exact order, which he always remembered, even when he pretended he didn't. "He's coming home," Nick said. "Today." Sharon's pulse tightened. She'd been prepared for this eventual reunion since the day Noah called, sounding like a man who'd set down a weight but wasn't sure how to pick up anything new. "Is he okay?" Sharon asked. "He will be," Nick said, and something about the way he looked at her made her wonder if he was talking about more than their son. Noah, the mirror. Noah's return wasn't explosive or dramatic. He didn't come in shouting accusations or confessing secrets. Instead, he walked into the coffeehouse with a tired smile and arms ready to wrap around the 2 people who had shaped him most. Dad. If his parents noticed the shadows under his eyes, they pretended not to. Sharon cupped his face. "You're home." Nick clapped a hand on his son's shoulder. And you're staying, right? Noah didn't answer at first. He looked between them, quietly appraising the familiar bond they were trying so hard not to acknowledge. It wasn't romantic in that instant, it was something deeper, something made of shared history and scars and memories that stretched back before he was born. Yeah, Noah said finally. I think I need to. Later that night, after Noah went upstairs to unpack, Nick lingered in the kitchen while Sharon poured tea. He's watching us, Sharon said with a soft smile. He always has, Nick replied. Even when we didn't think he was. They shared a comfortable silence, the kind that once meant home. 3. A son's eye for truth. Over the next weeks, Noah moved quietly through town. He visited the Newman Ranch. He checked in with Faith. He caught up with old friends. But the place he returned to most, always with a sketchbook under his arm, was Crimson Lights. He'd sit at a corner table, drawing characters and scenes from memory. Sometimes those sketches were of the coffee house itself. Sometimes of Summer, or Tessa, or the Abbott estate. But more often than not, he sketched his parents. Them laughing over a spilled lot. Them sitting beside each other but angled inward, unconsciously connected. Them arguing gently over an old memory. Them pausing, always, to look at one another just a little longer than necessary. One day, Sharon approached him as he closed the sketchbook. Are you drawing something special? Just the truth, Noah said. Sharon looked puzzled. You two belong together, he added simply. Sharon's breath caught. Not because it was a new idea, but because hearing it from Noah resurrected something soft and fragile inside her. Noah, your dad and I, we've been down that road so many times. And you always find your way back, Noah replied. Don't you think that means something? For Nick's guilt, Sharon's grace. Meanwhile, Nick was fighting a war inside his own chest. Every time Sharon smiled at him over a coffee mug, or tucked a lock of hair behind her ear the way she used to when she was 20 years old and trying to hide how nervous he made her, a spark lit up. But sparks were dangerous. Sparks could burn down lives. What if I just mess it up again? Nick asked Noah one afternoon, after a workout at the athletic club turned unexpectedly emotional. Then you mess it up, Noah said. And you fix it again. Isn't that what love is? Not perfection, perseverance. Nick stared at him. You're wiser than I was at your age, he said. I had two very dramatic role models, Noah replied dryly. Trust me, Mom isn't afraid of the past. She's afraid you are.